the next game that we have on the docket here, which is the Cleveland Browns at the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is a very interesting game that I want to pay particular attention to, mainly because of the quarterbacks. The ongoing saga with Deshaun Watson in Cleveland is just fascinating to me. Cleveland went all in, gave him a big guaranteed contract, and now they're
Was
wondering
the worst
about it.
deal in pro
Yeah,
football history. I don't even
yeah,
think that's up for much
yeah.
debate.
And it really becomes, when do you pull the trigger and just say we've had enough of Deshaun Watson? Because quite honestly, when I look at this game, Cleveland is far superior talent wise overall to Jacksonville. I don't think there's any question about that. Jacksonville has a supposed edge at quarterback. Now, I've been a huge Lawrence fan. I've made no bones about it, but this is a game where it'll be another it'll be another huge test for him. I love that Cleveland defense. I know it didn't look great against Dallas last week, but I think that had as much to do with Deshaun Watson and Cleveland's offense putting uh, their defense in bad spots more so than their defense being bad. And if Lawrence can't take advantage of a similar situation, when is the when are you going to start hearing the call for Doug Peterson's job, and when are you going to start hearing the calls that, you know what, maybe Lawrence isn't a top 10 quarterback, maybe he's middle of the pack, the lower middle of the pack. This is a great test, I think, for Lawrence, and we'll see if he passes. I'm not so sure that he will. I just wish I had more faith in the Cleveland offense not to kill the Cleveland defense. What are you thinking about this game?
So when you look at if you just look at the box score, Cleveland's defense did a great job, I thought, against Dallas. Held them to 265 total yards of offense. But when you actually break down the game, Dallas completely took the foot off the gas. They were up huge. They stayed up huge. The game was never in jeopardy. Um, so you didn't see a lot of Dak throwing the ball in the second half specifically. But I mean, Dak only threw for 180.
Yeah,
Like they only ran and gave up 100 yards on the ground. So when you're looking at it from a total yard standpoint, Cleveland wasn't bad defensively. Um, and again, we'll see. I think Dallas has a pretty good offense. I got a lot of respect for Mike McCarthy as an offensive play caller. Now, is he great as a team coach? That's up for debate. But I think when it comes to the offensive side of football, I don't think there's a lot of debate with Mike McCarthy. Um, this is another one. I'd agree with you. Like, and I'll say this: usually in this situation, I would say getting on the football field is the best thing that can happen to an athlete when you've got all this off the field stuff going on and the allegations and everything. But Deshaun has dealt with this so much, and the football field hasn't necessarily been that quote unquote safe space for him. So we'll see.
yeah.
I mean, go for it.
Yeah, no, just something's missing with the kid. Uh, there is something that is with all the trials and tribulations he's had off the field, and understandably so. I think it has chipped away at confidence in that young
Yeah.
man. And when you, as an athlete, and I've coached many an athlete, any athlete I've ever coached that didn't have confidence in themselves wasn't very good. I,
Oh,
no
it's the
matter how
most
much
important thing
talent
in
they had,
sports. Yeah.
yeah, and especially as a quarterback in the NFL, and I'm just not seeing it in him. And I'm
Yeah.
not so sure Stefanski can put it back into him. Uh, and it's a shame because this Cleveland team is loaded with talent. I mean,
Yeah.
I, this is a team just from a pure talent perspective. When just remove the quarterback, they're they're one of my top five teams in the NFL. However, you add the quarterback position in, and it is so important. They become average, and this is a tough game for me. I believe we've got a play on it.
We do have a
I
play
would
this game.
love to, I would love to say that Lawrence can overcome this defense and lead his team, but I'm not so sure he can do that either. I know they're -3, but Boy, this is all I'm saying is you got to head to batsbets.com and see what we have on this one.
Yeah, I mean,
And I'll
money's
let you
coming on
finish up.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
Game open 3.5. Uh, Total hasn't really moved at all, so you're not really
Yeah.
seeing a lot on that. Um, as far as the total goes, we made the line fairly close to where that's at. Um, so it's tough, but this is one of those games that Jacksonville at home should be fine. But again, is Trevor Lawrence good enough to beat the the Cleveland defense?
Yep.
And I guess we'll find out.
Yep. We'll find.